What's up, Alethia? Like my picture? I figured it was probably a pretty good backdrop. This was given to me by Pastor Bill Daughter, who started Woodman Valley Chapel, and he was a pastor up at Tri Lakes Chapel, really near and dear to me. I don't, he's just a random painting of a Jewish rabbi, but it was better than the Ty Lawson jersey that I have hanging up. And I figure it's more appropriate church setting. Hey, so obviously, as you guys know, we're not meeting in our normal church meeting place. And so what I wanted to do was kind of give you guys something, give you guys a Bible verse to kind of chew through. If you're looking for something to study, looking for something to do, man, we just want to encourage you out of the book of Jeremiah. So the passage I'm going to read you is Jeremiah 35. We studied this group very briefly in our men's group maybe 2 years ago now. I can't really remember how long ago it was, but we talked about them. And honestly, Paul Mason did a great job of kind of unpacking this group, and it's never really left me in terms of the impact that this people group had. So it's Jeremiah 35. We'll pick it up in verse 1. The Lord spoke to Jeremiah when Jehoiakim, son of Josiah, was ruling over Judah. Go to the Rechabite community. Now, some of you may have heard about the Rechabites. Some of you might have no idea what I'm talking about. So I'm going to read you the note here in my study Bible. Okay. Most scholars agree that Jonadab, son of Rechab, mentioned as the leader who had instituted some structures, is the same Jonadab who assisted Jehu in his religious purge of Baalism following the reign of Ahab. And that can be found in 2 Kings 23 through 24. And that's a crazy story, all right? 2 Kings 23 through 24. If this is the case, and most scholars agree, then the Rechabites followed these same rules for 250 years. 250 years. This people group did not deviate from a certain set of rules given specifically to them. So go to the Rechabite community. Invite them to come into one of the side rooms of the Lord's temple and offer them some wine to drink. So I went and check these names out, right? We need to reinstitute these names into our normal naming pattern for church names. So I went and got Jezaniah, son of Jeremiah, the grandson of Habazaniah, his brothers, all his sons, and the rest of the Rechabite community. I took them to the Lord's temple. I took them into the room where the disciples of the prophet Hanan, son of Igdaliah, stayed. That room was next to the one where the temple officer stayed, and above the room where Messiah, son of Shallum, one of the doorkeepers of the temple, stayed. Then I set cups and pitchers full of wine in front of the members of the Rechabite community and said to them, "Have some wine." But they answered, "We do not drink wine because our ancestor, Jonadab, who I just mentioned, son of Rechab, commanded us not to. He told us, 'You and your children must never drink wine. Do not build houses, do not plant crops, do not plant a vineyard or own one. Live in tents all your lives. If you do these things, you will live a long time in the land that you wander about on.' We and our wives and our sons and daughters have obeyed everything our ancestor Jonadab commanded us. We have never drunk wine. We have not built any houses to live in. We do not own any vineyards, fields, or crops. We have lived in tents. We have obeyed our ancestor Jonadab and done exactly as he commanded us." All right? So, how crazy is this story? This small people group for 250 years has obeyed some very specific commands. Now, history would show us that this group did well to obey these commands. Because as we keep reading here, when King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon invaded the land, we said, let's get up and go to Jerusalem and get away from the Babylonian and Aramean armies. This is why we are staying here in Jerusalem. So when Nebuchadnezzar invades, because God had prepared this family 250 years in advance for a moment when Nebuchadnezzar invades them, they have nothing. They can just pick up and move. They are free to roam, right? They're not tied to a specific place. They are free to do that. And sometimes, when it's talking about, hey, we lived in tents, when you're a church like Alethia is right now, which is kind of nomadic. I mean, think about it. We're almost 5 years into this church plant thing, and it has been crazy. I mean, we have been now this is our third different building that we've been in. We've had to kind of stick and move, or we've been given a week's notice to say you can't be. I mean, but there's also a lot of advantages. Think about this morning, right, or this coming morning, right? Today's Wednesday. Okay, remember Sweater Vest Wednesday? Don't you forget it. All right, but think about on Sunday what we get to do. We get to be nimble, we get to be agile, and we get to meet in small groups around this city and pray together, right, and relate to one another. And man, I'm super blessed and I'm super encouraged by what it is we get to do. So this Sunday, hey, if you guys are looking for something, and you know what, if all you do is you just get together and you get to know some people that maybe you didn't know, and you just have what in the Christian community calls fellowship, right? No, everyone else calls it just hanging out. If you just hang out, awesome. All right, totally awesome. We're fine with that. But hey, if you're looking for something to do, kind of in light of the remembrance that was happening with these Rechabites, we would just love for you guys to encourage one another. So hey, talk about something. If you're watching this and it's just your family, maybe you couldn't get to one of our gatherings, it's just you and your family, maybe it's just you as an individual, why don't you just remember, the Bible's full of remembrance, right? Just remember something incredible that God has brought you through, right? As a family or as an individual, okay? And get excited about it, write it down, okay? If you're meeting with your small group, okay, maybe you're kind of new, so just think about some things. Maybe you can dream in the future, or you can look back into the past about, man, God brought us through this, right? God prepared us and then brought us through this particular thing, right? And if you even want to, man, you can write something about our church, about Alethia, and you can just write that down about something that has really blessed you at our church, something that is really kind of filling you up. And then at church on Sunday, March 8th, it's going to be awesome. We're gonna finish up Galatians in a way that Galatians has never been finished up, I would imagine. I'm like 100% confident in that. All right, so March 8th, we're going to be back at Pine Creek. We're going to be wrapping up Galatians. It's going to be incredible. All right, we're going to have a little kind of chalkboard thing there. And we want you to just bring some ideas, write out on the chalkboard maybe, just some ways that Alethia has been encouraging to you, in a way of remembering. Because while you might think that church leadership and all this stuff is just like fairies and rainbows all the time, sometimes it can be really difficult, believe it or not. And man, we would love to be encouraged as pastors, as staff, as elders, as small group leaders, everyone who puts so much into this. Boy, we would just love to be encouraged this coming Sunday as well. So I hope you guys all have a great Sunday, March 1st. I hope that you can dig in to Jeremiah 35 if you want to. You can read all about the Rechabites. You can read in 1 Kings. What did I say that was? 1 Kings 23 and 24. You can dig into that if you want. You can just hang out. One other note, this is the second week that we haven't met in a row. And as you can imagine, and you probably know, we do subsist on your donations, and so you can actually give if these are normal giving weeks for you, and you're comfortable, you can give online. But we would really like for you to not forget us in that, because obviously this could be tough, but you know what? God provides, right? I mean, we all know that. It's just a friendly reminder to you that you can give online at alethiachurch.org. We hope you have a blast hanging out. We hope you get some incredible time together. We hope some just awesome things come from this fellowship. And we will see everybody March 8th, wrapping up Galatians, 10 a.m., Pine Creek High School. Boom. All right. Everyone say bye to my rabbi friend here. And remember, every Wednesday is a Sweater Vest Wednesday. That's not the most important thing. See you guys.